Hey everybody, just going ahead and fixing a few settings. I will be out there in a little bit. Be right back. I'm using one of my hero characters and flying on over so that I can actually be down with y'all over there. I might as well swap it over. There we go. Just making my way over. Let's see if I can phase. Alright. I'll have to wait till I get there. Alright, alright. It'll be so weird actually being able to... Alright. So we got a bunch of people here. I'm going to see if I could jump into one first, and if I can't get into one, then I will stay in this one for a little bit. Let's try it again. Okay, so we successfully got into phase 1. Alright, let's take a look here. Alright, we got quite a few people here today. We got ourselves some Viltrumites. Looks like some X-Men characters. We got some Invincible. We got some Batman. We got ourselves a Shazam, Nightwing. Alright. So let me go ahead and look at some of these. Let's look at Sophie here first, because we got ourselves a Spawn character. I like the glow on it, it's very nice. And I like the eyes that they used on it, that's kind of cool. Has like a, you know, it's a venomous eyes. Kind of works really good for like Spawn. Hellspawn, like the sort of like Venom thing, that's kind of cool. I can dig that. Okay, let me not forget chat here. Ani says, I wonder if I can get over there before you. Well, yeah, probably. You probably got here before I did. And he says, Superman, yeah. I just kind of quickly threw a Superman thing together as I was doing the settings. And then Pubsy says, your mic is a little low for me. I don't know. Is that better? Let me see. See if I could turn up my mic volume just a little bit. I don't want to do too much. How is that? Is that better? I turned it up just a little bit. You can let me know how that turned out. I don't want to blast out people's ears if it is too loud. And then we have Rosemary over here. And you guys know I'm a sucker for cybernetic styles. So this one's really nice. I like the kind of route that they went with this. That's really cool. I like that. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the mutant skin on my female character since I put it on iconic. So it's kind of cool to see the mutant skin on a female character. That's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, I've never seen the mutant skin on a female character. So I wish that they made that where you could purchase it with like replay badges. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like that. And it looks like it's going to be Lantern Mania with all the new styles that are going to come out with that resurgence. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that we can add materials to the styles. I think that'd be really cool. So we got ourselves a Jessica Cruz Orange Lantern. So I really like that. Very nice. Let's see, and then we have Chrono here, who is always a favorite. Always rocking that plasmic aura. Very nice. Yeah, I've seen this one before. His styles are spot on. Let me see. And then we got Buff over here from Evil. Very nice. We got ourselves like the paramedic style. I like how the prisoner style can kind of mimic that. It kind of looks like Scrubs, so that's kind of nice. I see people use that, and if they want to get like a bloodier style, then they'll use like the crown prince style. And then we have, let's come over here. We have like a Nightwing character over here. Flying Grayson. Okay. Yeah. Like, I think this is a little bit easier. I could fly next to them so that I know that they're the closest one and I could take a look at them. So this is kind of nice. I kind of like how they have, like, it's very minimalistic and you only see, like, a little bit of the blue. That's kind of nice. I like that. It's different. I mean, I still do like it going down the arm and all that, but I mean, this isn't bad. That's kind of thinking outside the box. And then we have Batman TM over here. So it looks like he has, this armor really reminds me of like something from like the Nolan movies. Or no, not Nolan's, Snyderverse. This looks like the suit that Batman fights in Batman v Superman. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah, the armor. Now all you need is just the kryptonite spear. I mean, we have that in the game, but then he'd have to remove the cape. I mean, otherwise, I like the Kevlar feel to it. Speaking of, has anybody enjoyed the new private queuing system? I know I have. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I've been running a whole bunch of different raids and alerts and duos and soloing them with my battle tank. It's a lot of fun. It's crazy when you go in and you're doing like regular Olympus and you're the only one there, and you have the ability to kill everything. Yes, it takes you like 25 minutes when you're running regular ones. If you do casual, you could probably cut that number down drastically, since it'll put you in at your highest CR, like highest endgame CR, whatever you are now. But I know the regular ones like clamp you down. And I was running Olympus because I don't think they have Olympus as casual. I'd have to look again, but I don't think so. But I was running that, and I had a lot of fun with that. It's opened a whole nother part of the game to me that I never really thought of. And yeah, really cool. I really like it. I think it was a good decision by the dev team to go ahead and do that. I think that was a solid decision because I think, to be honest, I think they kind of saw the writing on the wall and they're like, you know what, like this is a good idea. Like, you know, we have some people in the community that really like to do that. So, and it allows us to do that, and it also kind of gets around the problem right now with leagues that can't like group with the opposite faction. You know, like they allow cross factions now to, you know, different players from each faction to join up in the same league, but you can't group up with them to get into content. So it used to have to be that on that side that they were building the group on, they'd have to grab a few more players as like bodies to kind of just get you in the door, and then you would invite them. But now this whole system allows for the most of the group that's there to go ahead, queue in, and then they can bring in the rest of their, you know, the league mates that are from the other faction, bring them in. So I think that was kind of awesome. I think that was a good decision. I think they've been making much better decisions overall. Uh, you know, recently. I mean, of course, there's going to be a few things I still disagree with. Uh, so one of my league mates made a video about the time capsules that used to give ally favor. Uh, so when the new ally had come out, I had went ahead and bought some keys because I was planning on, you know, opening up those specific capsules so that I could go ahead and get some easy, ally favor so I could level up Constantine. Well, that didn't happen because, or at least I had to use other ways to get it. I basically, you know, just from the marketplace or that sort of thing, or going ahead and getting some off of Dr. Fate. I got some off of there as well. But I had to kind of go in that route because I opened up, a few time capsules and didn't get any out of all those. Like I kind of alternated between the different capsules, and it looks like they have totally patched out ally favor, and that you cannot get ally favor from any time capsules anymore. They completely changed the descriptions and patched out the ally favor. So something that used to be much easier to kind of get your hands on, and it was a little more rewarding to get ally favor from there. It was easier to get it, cheaper. You just don't have that option anymore. So it's either you get it from the Dr. Fate vendor with your Fate tokens, or let me get the precise name of that. Let's see. So it is the Destiny tokens. You either had to go ahead and use your Destiny tokens to buy the ally favor, or you'd have to go ahead and get it from like the marketplace. Maybe there's like one other area you could probably get ally favor from that I'm not thinking of, but yeah. So those are really the only options I could really think of where to get the ally favor, because the time capsules don't drop it anymore when you open them. So, you know, it's kind of a bummer, but you know, I that's just kind of the other side of them trying to really monetize the game even more past what they've already done. So it's like there's some good things, and then there's other things where it's like they didn't really need to do that. You know, it was good the way it was. But, you know, they kind of figured out like, oh, you know, they can get away cheaper doing it that way than going ahead and just buying it directly off the marketplace. And kind of with the rest of the monetizing, I could kind of see the same idea with the events, where they said that they're going to close the buyouts after a certain amount of time. I think that's also kind of like capitalizing on like the FOMO of those events, you know, the fear of missing out, and it gets people to jump on board and hit those buyouts Because maybe in the back of their mind they're thinking players will kind of sit back and maybe do it at their leisure, or they always have the idea that they will always kind of be there, so that there's no rush in trying to buy them now, and I think they're trying to get away from that idea. And I think they figure that'll get a lot more players to act on getting on using that buyout if they set a time for it. Do I think that's the last time that they'll have any of those rewards? I don't think so, and I hope it's not, because I mean, if we look at the events, like you have like the Shadow Curse ability hits really hard for AoE. That, and it has a feat attached to it. That would be like horrible to like not have that show up again and have players miss out on that. You have Seasonal, which has the Spore ability from Poison Ivy. That would be that's another feat that would be totally gone, that you wouldn't be able to get anymore. And this is a really strong like dot slash burst ability, so that would be a big deal if that never came back again. Let me see if there was anything else. But yeah, but there's a bunch of feats like to all the other rewards in there, so you would just be down like 2 or 3. I think it's like 2.5 or 3 skill points, something along the lines of that you'd be missing out on. It would be like the Superman emblem times, times 3 basically, because I think that's what, like a skill point or half a skill point. So. But I mean, we'll see. I kind of hope in the back of my mind that, like, let's say it's the shadow ability, and and it's Dakota City. Well, maybe they'll bring it back for like a spotlight or something, where you can go ahead and like basically buy it out or work towards it. So like part of like a episode spotlight, and then that would be like the little bonus to go along with it for players that don't have it. Or maybe they'll have some sort of event where like everything kind of comes back for like a limited time. Alright, and then we've got Princess Tamaran over here. Let's look at them. But I'm really excited about the 5 artifact slots. I think that's going to be awesome. And I've had people that have asked me, especially on the Discord, they're kind of like, hey, do you think, like, what do you think of the 5 artifacts? And I thought it was awesome. I know back in the day, the devs, when they talked about adding artifact slots, they said, hey, we could do that, but they're like, at the same time, we can't, like, it would be game breaking if we didn't take something off the top. So what they kind of had in mind was that if they had like 5 slots in the game, that the last 2 slots, like, let's go to inventory. It'll say like the last 2 slots, like the percentages up at the top, like right where it says like 4% health, precision, and might, like those wouldn't be applied for the last 2 artifacts, so that it wouldn't be game breaking, because they said that the stats would be like insane to be having it that high, or they'd have to readjust the game, or like the difficulty. So I don't know if that's still the case, or if they still feel that way. But we'll see like how they adjust for that, or how they want to work with that. Because either way, I would be fine with that. And then I had other people asking, hey, if they took artifact swapping away after they gave the 5, what do you think if they gave you the 5 slots and took artifact swapping away? I mean, I understand why people don't like artifact swapping. I was pretty much in that same area for a while, so I understand both sides. I understand the swapping side, and I understand the non-swapping side. I've always been of the mind that uh, so I think, hey, the dev said it's not an issue. Swap. You can swap if you want. Uh, but the problem for me is when other people require others to swap to be in their groups. Like if there are people that are outright telling people, hey, you can't run this or you can't run that with us if you don't swap, then I'm kind of like, no, that shouldn't be the case. Like that's where I kind of draw the line. It's like people should be able to swap if they want to, but it shouldn't have to be something to where you're literally excluded out of groups because you don't want to. But I wouldn't care either way whether or not they kept or took away swapping. I'd be fine if they took it away, and I'd be fine if they kept it in. It doesn't really matter to me which one happens, to be honest, because I already have the sort of build, kind of in my brain of what I would run. So it doesn't really matter to me if they keep it or not. Ooh, we got ourselves a cool Constantine here. I like this. This is a good choice. All right. Because the only thing I was thinking of for the longest time of why they probably wouldn't have done, added any more slots was because not only would they have to adjust the difficulty for it, but also it's yet 2 artifacts now that any new players would have to have or would try to have to get. So you have these new players that come in and they're trying to be somewhat competitive, and they're getting their first few up. But then they kind of look at it and they're like, oh, I gotta get 5 of them. And they're on number 1, and they have 4 more to go. So that's for the longest time why I thought they kind of held off, because it's kind of like a high bar of entry for a lot of people that would really see like poor returns on their damage until they really, had some substantial artifacts kind of with them on the account. But maybe the devs are trying to push like the wolf packs even for like newer players, and trying to use that as a way for them to kind of get into the game a little more, and being able to like have that on multiple characters and really give them kind of like a jump start, I guess. Got ourselves a Superboy. All right. Let's see. Did I look at Super Starfire? I don't know. Let's take a look. This is almost similar. If only that gem was green, that'd be cool. Man, if only that was green, that would have been perfect for that style. And then we have Geosiris. All right. Okay. Wow, for a while the chat wasn't showing up, and then I go back into the chat and everything shows up. I've been talking to myself here the whole time, not realizing that the chat didn't keep up. It says, okay, working on my Jessica Cruz Orange Lantern. Do you have a favorite lantern core? Yes, it is Red Lanterns. 100%. I like all the lantern cores. It'd probably be the blue lanterns. Blue lanterns are cool too. Do you still get rare drops in private matches? I don't know, pups. I don't know for sure. That'd be interesting. I have to save up Dr. Fate tokens to get the greed material. Took me a while to get it. And he says, I see myself. Hello, Iconic. How are you doing? I'm doing very good, Superman. I was looking at the chat, and I'm like, man, why is the chat not Go in there. And I literally had to go out and go back in. I'm so sorry. I know I was answering a lot of those late. Um, but yeah, Red Lanterns. I love the Red Lanterns. And I really, like, that was something I really was looking forward to when it came into the game. And I just love the hell out of that. But Blue Lanterns, I kind of wish they made it into the game in terms of like a power set. But I don't know. It just never made it. It was just one of those things where maybe it just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and just it was thought of too late by the time people, by the time people were going ahead and, you know, by the time the devs were kind of finished with the idea of making powers. It kind of sucks because that would have been cool if if that was the case, if they were, if they ever were to make another power. I would kind of hope that they'd make that. Um, Says, are you going to make a Century style anytime soon? I know it is a request. I don't know about how soon. I haven't really started another style video. I put one out a few days ago. It's got some really cool styles. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. I know in the style video before that, so I know that the request said Century or Hyperion. So I haven't done Century yet, but I did do Hyperion. So if you love Marvel characters, Hyperion's really cool too. Yeah, but yeah, I went ahead and I made that one. I made like 2 Kryptonian styles in this newest video. I think it's like an inspired Swamp Thing style, and then I made like a style, like a speedster style, but I call it the Blur, and it's like a really just dark style, but then it uses like the new Kryptonian slimlines, but the one that has like the red lightning, and then I added 2 more lightning effects. So you just see all this red lightning around this blackened figure that just has like a black aura around him, and then you could just see like the lightning bolt like fins kind of out of the top of his helmet and on his boots. So it's almost like the character is so dark. The character is so dark, but he's got all this electricity. It's like he whizzes by you, this dark figure, and all you see is the red lightning around this dark figure as they whiz past you, and that's all you see. So I thought the name The Blur was really cool, but there's actually a character in the DC Comics that is named The Blur, but he looks nothing like that. But I still wanted to use that adjective of the name because I thought that was like really like the best way to describe that style. Yeah, you were right, Ibon. It is very much the same as the Flash from Kingdom Come, but think of it as black instead of red, and that's what the character looks like. Yeah, I 100%. I think that's the Flash I was thinking of. I couldn't put my finger on it at the time, but I think you're right. I think it was very much inspired by the Flash from Kingdom Come. I really like that design. And so I made like a black version of that where he's just blacked out and you just have red lightning around him and he just whizzes by. And so that's in the latest video. And of course, I'm still keeping up with what the new kind of part of my videos where I have like the full details of all the styles. You can literally go to any of the newer videos now, and if you go in the description or you look at the video cards, I will have unlisted videos attached to that'll bring you that'll give you all the details of whatever style you're looking for that are in that video. So it gives you the full details, so there's no more having to like comment and ask and wait for me to reply. It takes me like a couple minutes more, but it's worth it, and it allows you guys to get all the details you want without having to like wait for a reply. Because I mean, I was replying to this stuff like either at like the end of the day or before work or during lunch. Like I would take whatever like minutes I had to try to like reply to that, and I still try to do that if those videos can't like answer that question, but most of the time they're able to give you all the details you need. But I did that so that it was more convenient for everybody just in general. So so you can get what you're looking for fast, and you can kind of reliably go back to those videos and reference those styles if you need to. So, but yeah, it's I kind of like how it's going, and it doesn't add too much. It doesn't really add any editing time to the videos, which is nice. So you guys get what you want, and then I get what I want, where I don't have to add too much more editing to the videos, and everybody's happy. So, all right, let's see, and then we got ourselves Piccolo over here. Demon King Piccolo. Very nice. And then we got Cal's L. Looks like another Superman. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, besides that, there's been a lot going on for the past 2 weeks, and so many things kept creeping into the schedule, and definitely causing I don't want to say issues, but causing a lot of like roadblocks when it came to streaming on Sundays, and so I'm trying with starting an hour and a half later, and I figured also might make it a little easier for everyone else. He's like, maybe you have things that are going on earlier in the day, and then it kind of makes it easier for you to kind of come on over later in the day. But it definitely makes it easier for me to do the streaming without having anything get in the way, at least for me. So hopefully it works pretty good. I'll see if I can really stick with that time and see how that works out. So we got ourselves Aquaman over here. Very nice. Oh, Superman JSA. I love when people switch things up and they do like a female Superman or things like that. You know what? I actually like this. This is a really nice character design. It's very original. Like, I like that. It's not trying to be Superman, like a carbon copy of the male counterpart. The cape is kind of its own thing. Maybe it's got like a Middle Eastern influence to it. Maybe of course, Kahndaq, so that kind of makes sense. The Champion of Kahndaq cape. I like the golden bracers. I think that's a really nice touch. Gives it a very vibrant, almost like well, I mean, it says JSA, so yeah, Justice League of Society of America. So it has like a very like a brilliant old world feel to it. The boots aren't bad; they kind of work. A lot of the old-fashioned superhero suits use like belt buckles and stuff instead of like actual clasps. So that kind of checks out. And then it's kind of like you have like the punk rocker belt. That kind of that's kind of different. It doesn't match with the rest of the style in terms of like the age, but I still like it. It gives it personality. So no complaints here. I like that. That's a good style. All right. Pup said, okay. Let me look at what Yvonne said here. Yeah, that really helped me with the Reaniman style I tried making. Yeah. For a long time, I wanted to make that style, and I kind of did make it, but it wasn't as good at the time. And then we just got better styles, and so then I finally kind of put it together. So the Reaniman style was kind of something I had in the back of my mind ever since season 1 of the show of Invincible, and it kind of came together this time around, like really well. Pup says, have you made a Blue Lantern style before? I'm in the process of making one since the Resurgence capsule is coming out. Oh, buddy, I have made so many Blue Lantern styles. If you, I mean, hit me up on the Discord later, and I'll send you like a couple links of all the different videos I've made. So I can think of off the top of my head probably 3 or 4 videos that have Blue Lantern styles in it. But there is one prominent one that has the most, which is the Blue Lantern Core video, which is part of the Style series. I forget which episode it was, but that's got a whole slew of Blue Lantern styles. And then I think, I think it's one of the last 3 videos. I think it's the third one from the most recent. Has the Calavera Hope, so it's using the hopeful style. That one's really good. That would probably work really nice. And then I know one of my first Lantern videos on the channel has a Blue Lantern style in it. So there's like 3 videos right there. But yeah, I could share links in the Discord so that you can kind of look at them at your leisure there. All right. So we got Speed over here. Very nice name for a speedster. I would have been almost disappointed if it wasn't a speedster and it had the name Speed. So okay, I like that. It's got that that Hermes Olympian influence to it. Very nice. He's using the hopeful hands. Those are really cool, by the way. I like the armband. That's over by basically the mid-arm, the bicep and shoulder area. I think that's really cool. I think that was probably one of the best things because I was afraid that they were going to build, like when I first saw the style, like in the announcement, I honestly thought that the hand, like the bracelets and this part, were actually part of the shirt style. Like I thought it was kind of like the angelic chest or the archangel where these are built in with the chest style, and I thought that the customization for that was going to be really poor, and that wasn't the case. Like I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that it was separate. So I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And then we got Reverse Flash here. Let's take a look at him. Alright. Reverse Flash. Man, this kind of looks like... this reminds me... I'm trying to think of his name. It's a Marvel character. He's in the MCU. Not the Crimson Dynamo. It's basic Crimson Avenger, or basically he's like the Captain America version, like the Russian Captain America like character in the MCU. He's in one of the newer shows. I don't really keep up on it, but I'm sure a lot of you like know the character. But this is kind of what it reminds me of. Just because of like all the different like stars on it. I think it's like the Crimson Guardsman or something like that. Alright. But on another note, that Constantine ally is really amazing. That's a good ally, especially for battle tanking. Because he's doing all that AoE damage. Oh, did they add face styles to that? So this head style now allows for face styles. That hasn't been like that for a long time, so they actually updated the head style. Yeah, because I knew that wasn't possible before. That's actually pretty cool that they updated it. I'll have to see what other head styles they updated. But the Constantine's like really cool, so he gives you precision, might, and defense when you're standing in that sigil. And since my main character is Rage, he can spam supercharges. And when you use Aquaman and you spam supercharges, it takes a couple seconds off of the cooldown of your ally. So a couple seconds at a time. Basically, every time you use supercharge, a couple seconds get shaved off. So I can actually get Constantine back pretty quick when spamming supercharges. So So you're getting that 18% might when it's at max. You're getting the precision. I don't really know how much you get with that because I don't really care about the precision, to be honest. Um, but then you also get the defense, which is kind of cool. So you get a defense buff, you get precision, and then you get a giant might buff. Uh, yeah, no, Ivan, Evard, no, I saw what you said. No, not U.S. Agent, the other one. But U.S. Agent's, that's definitely an interesting character, especially how he tries to step into Captain America's role, and everybody else kind of knows he's not that same caliber. He's not the same sort of. He's not the same person. He's kind of like a shell of what Captain America actually was. But I think you're getting close. I think you'll have the answer. Oh, so the style is U.S. Agent John Walker. The Russian cap is Red Guardian. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. It looked like Red Guardian to me. Is it actually based on U.S. Agent? Maybe the character. Maybe they did base it on like U.S. Agent. And maybe it's the black that's throwing me off. Maybe it was supposed to be like a dark blue or something. Maybe I'm just misremembering it. But it reminded me of the Red Guardian. That was the one I was thinking of. Alright, we got Delaney over here. Very nice. And I kind of like how they have not only the purple eyes, but then also have the purple on the hand. On just the one hand. I like that. That's kind of classy. And then we got Syl over here. So we got himself a cyborg style. I think that blue is really nice. The only thing is I'd make the blue, which is like this blue, that's the lights. I think I'd make that a little bit brighter. But I think the shading for this blue is perfect. I think that's a nice, like, it's not accurate to cyborg, but I still think it's a really nice blue. I think it still works out really well. Otherwise, very nice style. Okay, Superman says, I have an idea for Superman Prime 1 million as a style, but I need the Hellblazer aura to show it to you completed, but the drops are insane for the collection. Yes. So, you'll see in one of my videos, I don't think I have it in my inventory. No, I don't. This character doesn't have it. Maybe I can drop like a bank bot? No. Broker bot? No. Okay. Alright. So no bank bot. So I made a Superman Prime or Superman Prime 1 million style in one of my first Superman videos, or one of them. I don't think it's exactly the first one. But I kind of cheated on that. Like the aura, if you actually take a look at the aura that's in that video, that aura technically does not exist as a style in the game. I actually took the consumable, which gives you an aura, so it's basically one of the consumables from Justice League Dark from the first episode. It's that one that gives you the pious aura, which is supposed to be a buff and allows you to close the shadow pools. I used that in the video. So it's technically not even a style, but I thought it looks like a at the time, and still to this day, it's like a much brighter but lightened, colored version of the scorching aura. So it's, you know how like the scorching aura is like a orange color. The pious aura that you get from using the consumable is like a light gold. So, and I didn't want to use the scorching because it just didn't have the right look, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna use the pious aura. You know, it's kind of like using it's kind of like using the gentleman or using the holographic trinket for like a gentleman ghost style, like because there's no material in the game that even comes close to looking like gentleman ghost. Uh, so it's like I did one video where I was fighting the bounty gentleman ghost and I wanted to look like him because I wanted to name the video "Stop Hitting Yourself" because it looks like gentleman ghost is fighting himself, and uh, so I went ahead and I just used a holographic trinket and it literally just overlaid over my whole character and it looked spot on, just like gentleman ghost. But it's technically not a material in the game, so it's not really like a style because you got the style underneath, but you're using a trinket to cover it up. Yeah, I'll send you that video on Discord. But but yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of trickery, but it it allows you to see maybe a better version of the character with like a better aura that maybe we could have it at some point. But it was just too good to pass up, you know. Like you see something that actually works, and it's kind of like, man, that's kind of a bummer because it's a trinket, or it's a consumable. All right, let's see. Let's take a look. All right, we got Babs over here. Yeah, they really need to give us a Batgirl cowl, 100%. Give them Babs characters their Batwoman cowls, 100%. They need it. Because I mean, it's not bad. They're doing the best that they can with it, but yeah, they need a legit head style. We've got so many Batman cowls in the game at this point. It's like, okay, throw them a bone. Give them that Batwoman. Give them that Batwoman cowl. Very nice. I see that they've went to use the Last Sun material, and it looks flawless. Looks very nice. All right. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I'm afraid to look. We got Cocaine Bear over here. Well, it's as much as I expected. I mean, I kind of I like the ruggedness of the boots, but then you have the little tabs coming out of the socks. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I like that. That's so weird that like it doesn't even go up long enough or go down low enough to where it looks normal. It's like they're like in the middle in the wrong area for either. But then you have the little tabs coming out for the socks. That's kind of funny. Alright, Pub says, I tried to make the demo Gorgon from Stranger Things, posted it on your server earlier. I did see that. It came pretty close. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't perfect because the headpiece, but there's not much you can do. Like I think you did the best with what you were able to use in the game. But that's just kind of how it is until they give us something that's somewhat similar or better. But I mean, it wasn't bad, but yeah, I mean, you came close on like the rest of the body. I think it was the head style that was the most challenging part, but also the part that it tried to come close, but it didn't quite. But I mean, I think it was a really good attempt. I don't see anybody else making that, so what do I know, right? It's better than what I've seen from anyone else. So, I mean, props right there. Because I mean, there's styles I'll make, but then they never really see the light of day because they're just not good at that moment. You know, like there's definitely like better styles that need to come around. So that's the part that's kind of like disappointing. Is like you want to make a style work so bad, but you just don't have really the like the styles for it, or something's really preventing it from looking like what it should. I kind of like this. I like the Perdigaton, like that kind of Perdigaton feel to it. And the fire's a very nice touch. Very nice. All right. And then we've got Timmy D over here. Now let's look at Skeleto first, since he's right here. So we got ourselves like a zoom character. Very nice. Let me see if I can find who I was looking for earlier. Let's see, Timmy D, there we go. So I'm guessing that's, yep, Tim Drake. Very nice. The only thing is those, like, the R's are grayed out instead of the yellow. But I know he's doing that for the red. It's not bad. Pup says, yeah, it's not the best, but worth the try. Yeah, you always want to try. You always want to see how far you could go, and then before you know it, sometimes you surprise yourself, and you're just like, wow, I didn't think this was gonna work. I thought we had a little ways off. And there's some things that work out really well, and you don't expect it to, 100%. And then, unfortunately, there's definitely times where I'll go in thinking like I'm gonna make a good style with something, and it doesn't work out. And that style does not make a video. It doesn't make the video because I'm like, it's gonna need some work. Like, I gotta wait around. It's gonna be a little bit, but I'm really liking those styles that they got that they have slotted, like that are gonna come out Tuesday. I think those are really cool, and I'm a Lantern fan, so keep it coming, keep bringing that Lantern stuff to the game. I am all for it. I'm the sort of player that for me, I really enjoyed the Fight for the Light and the like the Lantern Wars, basically, those episodes. So I really enjoyed that Lantern content. So to see that they're kind of going back in that direction is a welcome change for me. Alright, Superman says, you have some people with me who looks nice to your left. Okay. Alright. So, we looked at Claire earlier. I'm going to look at Enjoyment over there. And I looked at Laura Kent. I like what she did there. She has, like, the dark black with the red. She was actually by my feet earlier. But I have not seen Enjoyment, so let's check him out. Very nice. If only has the Superman emblem. That's all he needs. And that's coming to an end pretty quick. I think something Obsidian Chill, not Obsidian Chill, Multiverse put out a video a couple hours ago, maybe like 9 hours ago, that the Superman emblem is going to go away, because I think they said at the end of this month or something like that. Everything that hasn't been like bought out that is a non-patrol like event, that stuff will not be available for any sort of lockout or purchase. So that's a big deal. So it's a good time to get that Superman emblem before it is gone. This is the third time though that it has come around, but after this point it's like, who knows when it's going to come back. It's not guaranteed every year. And Lord knows it really hasn't come around every year. It only seems like that because it came around this year and it came around last year, but it didn't come around the year before, I don't believe. So, I mean, we were kind of spoiled the last 2 years that we had his emblem back to back. That's kind of crazy, but I don't expect them to keep doing that. Alright, who was I trying to look at there? Got them all the way over here. We got I think it's Tiger Law. Yeah, Tiger Law, and then we'll look at Donna. Oh, we saw him from earlier. Yeah. Man, I kind of wish that they'd fix this accessory with the dragon. Or, yeah, with the dragon. Because they were kind of cute. They used to kind of hover and their wings would flap. Now they don't do that. I've noticed that with some of the emotes as well. They're kind of bugging out. Like the spell book one bugs out because the book disappears for a second before it comes back out again when you first start the incantation. And then I'm trying to think of which other one kind of like bugs out. But yeah, I can definitely notice that some are having trouble. It's got the whole spiral flex suit. And the hair. Very nice. Who else was I going to look at here? Oh, let's look at this. NYC's favorite. Heck, they might be my favorite. Let's look here. Because there we go. Yeah, I like that. That's a good style. Like, I could just kind of tell by the colors that I liked it. Yeah. Even with the change, I would still say that's a good style. Tone with the style's everything. Yeah. Alright. Who else? We got Simon Williams. Let's take a look at him. So definitely looks like a Rage character, but I know it's not. It's probably, yeah, Atomic. But this chroma is very nice. The dark crimson chroma. It's got a really nice red, deep red, and then like a black part. It's really cool. Alrighty. Let's see here. I'm going to look at a few more styles here, and then I'm going to jump to another phase. Make sure I don't miss anybody there. So we got Clark Kent and Justice Clark Kent, if I can speak here. Alright, there you go. We'll do one more official spin. Alright, very nice. Alright, because I don't want to leave other people in the other phases out. So I'll try to get to as many of them as possible. So I'm going to drop down to phase 3. Superboy Justice League looks dope next to you. Yeah, I saw him. He has like the T suit slimline. Yeah, I checked him out earlier Yeah, very nice. He has the Justice League belt, or not Justice League, the Legion of Doom. Nope, still messing it up. Legion of Superheroes with the L, the Legion of Superheroes belt. Yeah, I saw that. That was cool. I like this. This kind of gives me like Blue Devil vibes. Yeah, Blue Devil from the comics. That's what it reminds me of. It's just like an energy version of the character. Alright, and then we've got Superior Roku over here. Very nice. I mean, this is pretty nice for I'm seeing the red, so I'm thinking maybe like a Chinese character. But yeah, that's kind of nice. Especially like the symbols on there. It's a nice original character. And we've got Full over here. Will and Bull says, I think I saw an ambush bug a minute ago. Will, let me know what phase you think you saw them in, or if you still see them, and I may double back if you do find them. I'm just gonna take a quick look at everybody here. We got Spider Side. Very nice. That's the Cosmic Spider-Man. We got QU over here. Man, I have... Okay, so... You know what this reminds me of? I have a character on this account. So I have a character on this account that's called the Big Chungus, and he's a brute character, and he wears these same slippers, and he has the same head style, and he's just this big guy, and he's got the comical personality with the walk and everything. So it's actually really funny to see this. It reminds me of that character. Okay, ambushes in phase 1. Alright, let me kind of survey this over. Just yeah, give me a sec. I'll be over there in a little bit. So this really reminds me of like Assassin's Creed. Very nice. I like the hands with that. We got Eternal Darksider, kind of reminds me of Star Wars, which, by the way, today is May the 4th, so may the Force be with you. And then we'll have my favorite, which is May the 6th, which is May the Sith. So... You know, usually my main character is villain, so I'm all about the villain life. So this looks like King Thanos. I don't really see many people make this character, so I gotta grab a shot when I see it. Alright, I'm gonna phase down to phase 4. And then I will double back to phase 1. Alright. So it looks like got me and Rocket Raccoon over here. Let me actually get a straight shot. Nice. Okie doke. And let's give him a quick little look. He's got his little jetpack on. Very nice. And then we've got son of Shimi. Let's take a look. So it is a Darth Vader character. I was searching for my words there for a second, but I knew who I was looking at. Very nice. Okie doke. I'm gonna go ahead and double back. If I can. Just take a second. There we go. After a couple clicks, it works out. It takes a little bit of patience, but it works out. All right, I see him. It's Erwin Swab. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice ambush bug. Yeah, I can't fault that. That's a nice ambush bug. And the character size is perfect for it and everything. Now, if only they had a material on that mouth or the mustache, I think it might blend in a little bit better. But it's a nice style. You know. All right, let's see here. We got Rizio. So this is like an arcane style. Man, that rune is so big compared to the character. I'm so used to the rune being so much higher up on a bigger character. This is kind of funny to see the rune is so giant compared to the smaller character. And then, okay, so I'm gonna look at 3 more characters. So I'm gonna take a look at Super Teen, Sapphire. And then I'll pick one more wild card. And then I think we can call that a stream. So we've got our first one, which is Super Teen. So it looks like we have ourselves like a Supergirl character. Very nice. Oh, you're saying I think he's just starting out? Well, he's looking really good for starting out. Then that's pretty kick-ass if I say so myself. Yeah, then that's really good. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, if that's the case, like I didn't even question that. So if that's the case, that was actually really good. And then we have ourselves Jessica Cruz, Sapphire. And we'll give him a hey. There we go. And then one more. Which one? Which one stands out? Which one stands out? All right. I think I see him. I think I see him. And I think y'all know who I'm looking for. There we go. I kind of like that. There he is from Invincible. Now in DCUO. I kind of like that. Very nice. Very well done. All right. All right. Screw it. I'm going to look at a few more. I always do this, but I'm going to try to go through them quick. So we got like Trunks. I like how they use the energy on the headpiece. That was good. That's a good detail. Especially if you don't have it on the rest of the style. It really highlights the headpiece. And then we have Disciple here. Like a Dr. Fate, amalgam with Doctor Strange. So 2 doctors in one. And then of course we got Larry over here. Let's check out Larry. He's got himself a negative man, and look at that. He's only Only level 1. And already starting out pretty well. Because you know you can't like go ahead and style unlock these on your characters. You can only get them from the event. So he actually went ahead and bought these styles from the event at the time to put it on this very specific character. So props there. And one more. We got Omega the Unknown. So it kind of looks like an Omega Superman character. Or maybe just an Omega character, and I'm reading into it a little bit. Okie doke. So, I appreciate you all for coming out. And I will see you all in the next one. Well, with the barrels too, but yeah. I'll see you all and the barrels in the next one. Later.